a lot of it was just the accessibility with, as far as the servicing end of it and getting at different parts of it. Like the 3 radiator blocks where you could swing them out. And
Yeah.
I've never seen anything on that like that. So that was kind of a good idea.
What they say, they switch that fan every so many, is it so many minutes, hours?
I think it depended on what they felt, how bad the dust was.
Yeah, but it does it automatic,
Yeah, but they could adjust it.
so they can adjust it.
No, it was a nice unit. We're good to start then?
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna slide that over here. Got the end of the month budget figures there. Get that handed out. Michael's not here. And there's also one for solid waste.
Steve, is the AT&T Mobility, is that a cell phone?
That must be.
Okay. That's not a bad price if we could.
Oh, okay, yeah,
For that.
right. That'd be
Because
for
we're
Byron,
looking-
yeah.
Yeah, well, we might have to get cell phones for each department head, so.
Yeah, it's
And then crack seal and pothole repair, that came in a little under than what I think the quote was. I think the quote was originally for 39,000 and some change. So,
Good.
and what I'm seeing initially, that looks promising for the pothole repairs. That
Looks like it's been a
I
hole.
think it'll hold up for a while.
Yeah.
I just know with the cold mix, it's kind of hit or miss on that.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll hold, and just as many times it does not, especially on the bigger,
Yeah.
like we're dealing with, some of the bigger spots.
That's, they crack sealed that's
Then they
part of
crack.
that too.
Yeah, correct. That was most of that bill, crack seal. There's no questions on that?
I don't, do you really? Roger, anything? No?
Move ahead. Got a request from Prairie Land. They're running a line to get to that, I'm calling it a pumping station that One Oak is putting in north of town, up just south of 13 and W, off of 13 on the west side there. And they need to request an easement or access to a right-of-way to place one pole. They're unable to gain permission to place it on the private ground, so I don't see any problem with allowing them, or letting them go ahead and do that. They need to run a line across the road up there. So overhead line.
Just have one post on this?
One pole.
Okay.
Correct. And they'll put it off as far as, on the end of the right of way as possible.
I don't see any problem with it.
Roger?
I went to a meeting down at Colby, and they were showing down east somewhere, they had some poles in the right of way, which are never supposed to be in the right of way.
Right.
And there was an accident, and the county ended up being liable for hitting that pole in the right of way. Now, that up there, I don't have, I don't know. I thought they could, I thought they had, can't they go on private property and put a line on all poles on private property? I don't
They
think
would
there's
have to have an
any, there's not
easement, I
any
would
poles
think.
in it right away.
Right,
They're all on the backside of a fence or
right. They
guys
do.
have to farm around them. I don't have a problem with it, it's just, are we liable if we let them put it in the right of way?
It's a good question.
According to that meeting I was at,
We could be.
we could be. And they showed that line, it come down through there and it just veered over a little bit and went the right of way.
Apologize, I only have one
It
copy.
was an accident, and hit the pole.
Can we write something in there that they're responsible for it?
Well, that's,
Kind of what it is.
and I did run that by Leslie, so, yeah, I wish she was here today, but.
You know, the odds of it. No,
But I understand what
no,
you're saying.
the odds are not there of it happening.
Freeze, close fires.
And initially, I thought it was multiple poles, and I wasn't real thrilled about that, but then when he sent that letter, it just says a pole, so it's literally just one pole, according to that letter.
But the farmer won't let them put it on there?
Correct, as of now, no, they cannot get permission.
Usually everybody in the country, they were darn happy to have REA, they'd let them put them on their land.
True.
How quick are they needing this?
And we wanted it like within 10 days, isn't that what it, they've been moving right along up there, trying to get that done. But it doesn't mean, of course, we have to approve, so. I could visit with Prairie Land again,
I think it's more a question to Leslie on if we have liability.
not the liability.
Yeah, because otherwise I'm okay with it. I just don't want to do something 10 years down the road and the county gets, so Roger's right on that.
Yeah,
Because right there, we give them easement to put it there.
Right.
No, I don't have a problem either, really, but I just know what they told me at that meeting. That was a long time ago.
Maybe you can check with Leslie and if she says that we don't have liability.
right. And then could I have, we just need one or two of you to come in and sign on that then? If,
It'd have to be at a meeting though,
At a
because
meeting.
it's gotta be approved.
Is that something when you leave, you could call Leslie or we could call Leslie? Just to, maybe,
When do you have to know this
Did
by?
Leslie tell you it was okay?
they were requesting it within 10 days, and then she was okay with it. She was wondering about the easement and whether it needed to be registered, and that part of it within the deeds office, but we didn't get into any discussion on the liability aspect of it, potential liability.
See, I don't, there shouldn't be a problem because I see guys putting electric fences down in the right of ways.
Yeah, there's other items that,
There's
right
other
or wrong.
items that are in,
that-
right or wrong, that are there.
Yeah. You wanna see that again?
no, I think he texted her, you can move on. and
Yeah,
see
we'll
what she
just come back
responds.
to it.
Sorry about that.
That's fine.
So you're gonna wait and talk to Les then?
Yeah, we'll see if we can
See if
visit
we
with
can get her
her
on the phone. She
sometime
had
here this
court
morning.
Today, there was a mix-up on her schedule.
She's in court this morning.
Huh?
She'll be in court this morning.
Somewhere, yeah, she had to go, so we'll just see if she.
Okay, well, we'll come back to that later. The next item is an update on the excavator. We've got a linkage on there it's worn out. It was pretty loose when we, kind of loose it's been that way for a while, let's just put it that way. And it's gotten worse, and it's to the point where what we were running into is when you're reaching the bucket out, or the boom and the stick and setting it down, it was overextending and pinching our hose to hydraulic lines. We did kind of put a stop gap on that. We can still use it, but you still have the issue of, there's over a ½ inch of slop and play in the pin, the hinge for the bucket.
Yeah, if you let that go too long, it affects everything.
Right. So we do need to address that. Mark Polifka wrote up a quote on repairs for that. It'd be a bore weld stick bore is what they call it, to go in and recondition that, build it back up.
Right.
So we can get a pin back in there.
So what I did on mine is I went in there and did it by hand, which took like 2 months, but I ground it out, bored it out myself, and then I had Durst make me a piece that went in there. That was a job.
They can't put a bigger pin?
Okay, she's available then if you would like.
Yeah, just if we could, maybe either of that or just ask her via text. Hey Jeremy, we'll be right with you, buddy.
And that quote came to, I think, $69.54.
Yeah. Why do they need to wash the machine yet again? They're getting us for about $400.
Is that what they're charging to wash
Yeah,
it? Yeah, we could
$386.
wash it.
Hello?
Hi Leslie.
Hi.
Yeah, Leslie, this is Steve
Yes.
Wilhelm. I'm in with the commissioners, and we're going over that request from Prairie Land to place a pole in our right-of-way. It would be just one pole, and Roger brought up the concern about any future liability the county might have if someone to have an accident, run into the pole. He says that has happened in the past at another county where the pole was in the right of way and the county ended up being liable. Is that accurate, I assume? Is that something that we need to be concerned about on this?
In regards to the pole and where it is placed, yes, there have been concerns in the past in regards to poles being put in the right of way and the potential liability, because it's not customary to put them in the right of way.
Okay.
So, if they want to table it and I can look into it a little further and have a decision by the next meeting, then we can do that.
Okay.
He said Prairie Land wants to, in the next 10 days, they'd like to finish up this project. So 2 weeks is gonna be a little too long,
Well,
or do we just make them wait?
We can make them wait, or I can, like I said, I can look into it, and once I have a decision, we could call a special.
I'd come in if that's the case.
oh, okay.
Okay, all right.
So we'll be able to expedite it then a little bit and
Yes.
come up with an answer. Okay.
Okay.
We'll plan on that.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Leslie.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So you say they
I'm
can't put a bigger pin in that?
No, I don't think that was their plan. It was just to rebuild the,
Yeah. Everything has to be, if you go, sometimes, well, it would work, but then you'd have to go through and all the linkage on there. The bucket you'd have to do too, because the bucket,
they'll build it back up, put a sleeve in there or bushing, whatever, and
Yeah.
then the pin will slide into the
Okay.
fitted
So,
bushing or sleeve.
like of mine, my pin broke right there, had to knock it out. And I've worn the buckets out too, but if they'd have to bore the bucket out too on the sides, and that's pretty hardened steel, so.
Okay.
We'll need a motion on that, I think, won't we? Because it's over six.
Yes.
I move we have Foley recondition the bucket linkage for a total of $69.54.56.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded to have Foley's fix the linkage on the excavator for $6,954.56. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed? Okay.
Okay. The only other item, well, items, or your 5-year solid waste plan, that obviously be at 10 o'clock. And then would be the purchase of the second grader. I did get some information on the financing end of things on that. We talked about potentially taking advantage of that option to kind of delay the payment on that. And the whole, this is more of a summary, I think, here. And basically, to finance for 6 months, it would end up at 6.9%. It's gonna be half of this figure, the 18,585, so it'd be
925,
it'd be a little like 92. $9,200 and some change, if we wanted to do that.
4250, so it'd be 92.
I came up with about 92,
9,292.
yeah, okay. 92 for 6 months. And again, it would be when we take, if we were to take delivery in late August or early September,
That's when it would start.
then it'd be, then we'd be looking at, not 6 months, it might be 5 months or.
Right, okay.
And we already agreed to buy this one, right?
Well, we hadn't motioned on that. We were gonna look into this and,
So he suggested that because then we don't have to pull it out of this year's budget, we can pull it out of next year's and pay ahead and order it. Not pay ahead. And it does lock in the price, because that, if it goes up any.
We still get it for the same.
Right, and that's what he was concerned about, right?
that was part of the reasoning, correct. The other option is we do have the funds within the special road fund to purchase it now and not do the interest.
So, but you think it's better off if we go ahead and go with the loan?
It really just kind of depends on how you're looking at it. If you're looking to try and be cautious and make sure we've got a decent amount in our special equipment and special road funds, and this.
We don't have to pay for that until August, right? If they get it built in August, so if we decide that we didn't want to do the finance, we could also pull it out then, correct?
That'd be a question. Doug will be here today, later on. Doug Nenson, and we could check with him then
Okay, I didn't.
and come back in. No, but I wasn't, we don't need to decide on this now. I just thought we could discuss it a little more. 'Cause we didn't have any hard figures on the interest when we talked about this
So it'd
last
be around
time.
9,200 then if we did do something.
If we did the, correct. I personally prefer, if I've got the money and it's not gonna break the bank, I would just
Rather pay for
not
it.
spend the $9,000
Because it's wasted money.
on the interest, if we don't have to, but then,
Is that gonna throw us off? I mean, if something comes up.
exactly, so I was just gonna say, but, we've seen what happened with the loader, we've got, other pieces of equipment that wouldn't be any less expensive to repair if something did. I don't know if we justify it by planning for potential breakdowns that might happen. We don't know whether or not that's gonna happen.
I think we just go ahead and pay for it,
Okay.
personally. If you think we've got the money, let's do it. If something happens.
I think we
Steve, what was
can.
that number to pay it straight up? 315? I probably have it. Training with it too.
I hope I included that in here, just give me a second. Yeah, this was the trade for 106.
We get in trouble, we'll just sell the grader.
Yes. That would be, 265,
He didn't think that was.
886 and 9 cents.
Okay. All right. I just want to see where it leads us. I don't have a problem with that, though.
And what I plan to do, and I think we kind of went over this at the last meeting, out of the special machinery fund for each grader would use 25,000. So that'd be for a total of 50,000. Out of that, that would leave 103,533 remaining in the special equipment fund or special machinery fund.
So then we would take the 245,
Then the remainder would come out of the special road fund.
okay. And how much do we have in that right now?
What we're showing is $1,549,025.87.
Okay.
And that would be on the, I think that's on the budget sheet I handed you there a little bit ago.
We had 1,423,000 is what I got. Oh, that was before March's, so now, right now, it's $1,423,232.88.
Then if we're gonna go ahead and move on this, do we wanna wait till, because Doug will have papers available to
I
sign.
just
if
wait
we-
when he gets here
That's-
and make a
yeah.
motion then, and
Yep, so we just I'll just come back in
Okay.
at 9:45, or maybe when, and Doug might be here a little early too, so we can be ready before that.
We'll be here.
Okay, all right, I'll step aside then.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Come on up, Jeremy. Yep.
These guys could probably just as soon join me, but
How are you?
doing good. Good. You guys doing all right today?
Yes, sir.
Great. Just kind of wanted to come in, give you guys some updates on activities going on at the hospital. Nothing specific on the agenda, just updates. So, first thing I wanted to say is family and myself personally are acclimating well to the community and seeing you guys out and at events and things like that. So it's been a good transition. The hospital recently received designation. You guys, if you've been by the hospital, we've got a sign up in the front that we were designated as a top 100 critical access hospital in the country. So we're really proud of that. I kind of did some crunching on some numbers, and of all of the 81 critical access hospitals in the state of Kansas, 12 of them were selected for this award, which is really good. And for the total country, there's 1,366 critical access hospitals in the country, and So to be among the top 100 of them is a really good number. Wanted to say thanks for the appointment of our new board member, Carol Parch. She's doing an excellent job. She's been at 2 of our board meetings already, and think she's going to be a great addition to our team.
Yeah, I figured she would.
Yeah. Very positive person and knows what she's doing. So, just a couple other things. We're kind of partnering with the school systems. Not that we haven't always, but that's been one of my goals since I come, is making sure that we're doing what we need to help develop our kids. Kind of growing our own type mentality, from everything from EVS or housekeeping to, nurses to doctors. So anything that somebody feels like is up their career path, we're willing to try to help them to get there. So we're doing shadowing and the Next Gen internship program and helping people get their CNA licenses, those types of things. So we're anxious to see kind of in the coming years how that plays out, but we've got kids all the way from high school to med school to residency for physicians, so from local kids that have graduated from our school systems. So we're excited about that. You guys may or may not have seen, but we put a new roof on the hospital in the fall, so that'd be a really good 20-year roof that we put on that has a 20-year warranty. So we shouldn't need anything on the hospital for a long time. We're going to do some small things with the clinics, some fascia and stuff like that. But our hyperbaric chamber is going really well. The maximum number of patients we can see in our chamber is 4 patients a day, and that gets us from before 8 o'clock in the morning till after 5 o'clock in the evening nonstop. So in the beginning we had 4 for a couple of months, and then we've tapered down to where we're averaging at least 2 patients a day now. So that's about a half day worth of work for that department on top of the wound therapy that they're doing. So they are a hopping department, and they very hard workers. They're keeping running. And then other than that, kind of some of the big news is Dr. Bozen, as you guys may have heard, is going to be moving back to Idaho with his family. Everybody's really sad to see that. We did everything I think we could to try to make sure if there's anything he needed to keep him here, but I understand too that family's really important and their kids are young and want to get them close to their cousins and aunts and uncles and grandparents. But we are working on a replacement, and hopefully we'll have somebody before he actually even is gone. But he has decided to stay through the summer, let his kids do some swimming and things like that. And then he's also going to help us out in September and October when Dr. Lick has some time off. So very appreciative that he's helping us out through this transition. But wanted to be kind of available if you guys had questions about anything or anything that you had on your radar.
I think everything's going really good.
Good.
I hate to see Dr. Bozen
Yeah,
go, of course.
yeah, me too. But no, I appreciate all y'all's support, and if you ever needed something, feel free to come by the office or give me a call. So,
Sounds good.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Willie.
Thank you.
You guys have a good one.
You have a good evening.
Yeah, we'll do. Thanks. Thank you. Thanks, Scott. All right, guys.
You're next.
Have a good day. You do the same.
How are you guys today?
Good. I haven't met everybody. Well, I've met Brett,
Brett.
Marlo Parsons.
Yes. Roger.
Marlo Parsons. Nice to meet you. Scott. Marlo. Nice to meet you. And Will, you think I met you too. Marlo. Yes. My hands are.
Yeah, I think we met the other day.
Yes, we did, didn't we?
So a couple things, I'll just cover one real quick and then turn it over to Marlo. We're really getting this transition going. So we do need to, it's time to apply for our KDHE, just annual state grants, and we do need Mr. Polling's signature on this. So there's 3 grants that we're applying for. One is the immunization action plan.
Okay.
The state tells us how much money we'll get on that, so it's $1,893. The next one is PEP, which is the Public Health Emergency Preparedness. Again, the state tells us how much we get on that one, which is $9,330. That one may change once they get their final funding. Sometimes that one fluctuates up and down. And then the other grant is state formula, and again, the state tells us we'll get $7,000 to operate the health department. So those are the 3 grants. They are due April 1st. Our intention is to submit them today after we get a signature page.
First one was 1,083, correct?
1,893.
Okay, I'm glad I asked.
Do they want a copy of that?
No,
Sure.
that's okay, I
No?
wrote it down.
Okay.
All right.
You need to
We're-
make a motion.
Make a motion that we,
Well, do we give approval or make motion?
We would do approval, I think, but,
I can just do it approve.
make a
guys
motion
approve?
for approval of this.
okay. Immunization
Grant.
grant, PEP grant, and the state formula grant. You good
All
with
3
that?
grants, yeah.
All right. You want,
Where it says board chair.
okay, I'm sorry. All right,
Thank you, sir.
you're welcome. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the state is coming out with an idea of doing, they're calling it a county road show this summer. They're gonna go to like 12 different areas in the state to talk to community members, specifically county commissioners and things like that. So they, in the northwest region up here, they're either thinking Bird City to come up and speak with everybody, or Hoxie. So of course, you know, gonna kind of push,
Yeah,
of course, come out our way to
Right.
Bird City and have that. So I kind of wanted to just see if you guys would have any interest in participating in that. It was kind of, it's kind of the point of the whole road show is to get commissioners and anybody else in the community involved in coming and talking about public health and some of the issues that's going on, and really looking for some feedback on what we need to be doing.
when was that gonna be?
It's coming out this summer. No specific dates yet. Just as this summer. So they're trying to. This is just a like just some questions for me to fill out and see if that you guys would be interested, and
If I was available, I would.
if you
Yeah.
guys were available.
Yeah,
That would be great. And then they wanted to know too, like how long, you know, an hour or two, or morning, midday, what would be best for,
probably afternoon for me, because I work every morning, but
okay,
if you let me know ahead of time, I can try to plan for it.
okay, all
So-
right, that would be good.
You work every morning.
It's definitive, I guess.
Well, it's
Okay.
good on paper.
Sounded good.
So, all right, I will let them know those things, and then once we get something, they get something figured out where it's gonna be, then I'll be in touch and let you guys know. So I think that'll be great,
Okay.
so.
So what do they have, like a board they set up, or?
Well, this is a new idea. I think after COVID and things like that, they're trying to revamp how public health can help, you know, the community still, and if there's some things that public health can do, you know, throughout the community, just trying to get some feedback from everybody, like what are the current needs everybody has right now, you know, so. And then, of course, funding is always the question, and so how they can disperse the state funds too. So should be lots of good things. So it's gonna be. We'll just kind of have to see how it goes.
Yeah.
So first time doing this, and so, but I will let them know that we would have some participation, and so we can get that going out here hopefully. So
That'd be neat.
Anything
Other than
else you
that,
guys need from us?
Pardon?
Anything else you need from us?
Everything is going pretty smooth.
I think so. Marlo is pretty much taking over everything. So we have a few little things to keep throwing at her, but yeah.
It's grant season right now,
Yes.
you know, getting all this stuff in, and then we have health fair next week, so,
I gotta do that.
Tuesday and Wednesday we'll be here, 6:30 to 9. And then Bird City at the Legion Hall on Thursday. We're gonna try a new location, doing that's bigger and,
That's next Thursday?
next
Yes.
Thursday. Yep, so, should be exciting. So,
Well, thank you for all your work.
thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you for your time.
Enjoy your day.
Bryce, come on up, bud.
Good morning, Jim.
How are you?
Outstanding.
Good.
It's good to see you guys again so soon. It's not,
Thanks
not
for doing
typical
that, by the
to
way.
come see you guys on such a regular occasion. On the subject of our previous discussion, when I was here at that meeting, we completed an investigation at that site, and we found no violations of county code, either on that location or the neighboring locations. So,
Thank you for that.
yes, that's absolutely no problem. It's what we do. Had some exciting news for you guys. Over the last 2.5 years since I took on this position as director, one of my professional goals has been to establish some grant funding for different programs to help the counties that are members of our group. Federal infrastructure money that was made available to the state of Kansas, part of that went to what they call a PIP grant program. We did not fit the initial requirements of that grant. We went to KDHE and we made the case for our counties because we have so many counties in this. If we can lump them all together for consideration versus a county-by-county basis, we were able to meet the requirements to get that funding, which is to meet an economic benefit as part of their criteria. So the purpose of the grant money is to pay for wastewater system replacements for people that are at or below 200% of the federal poverty level. This program pays for 84% or 85% of the replacement cost from 200% of the federal poverty level down to 135% of the federal poverty level. Below 135% of the federal poverty level, it'll pay for 100% of replacement cost. We were rewarded the grant this year for 2024, $50,000. So we're going to give that grant money out. All of it's going to replacement. There'll be no administrative fees or anything like that our group's going to pull that grant money from. It's all going to go out to homeowners. So anybody in your county that meets those income requirements can qualify. We're going to have some forms for them to fill out for the application. They'll provide proof of their income, be on a first come, first served basis. So once those forms are available, we encourage people to get those filled out. They'll submit bids from at least 2 contractors that are licensed to work in the NWLEPG service area, and we'll approve those bids on a first come basis. We're really excited about this. This is a big deal for the group. It's a big deal for the counties. A lot of economic benefit there. As soon as we have, we've got a couple meetings coming up with KDHE and their planning process to finalize all the forms, make sure that we check all their boxes to meet the requirements for the grant. As soon as we have that paperwork out, we'll be sending packets out to your boards, the county boards, all the licensed contractors, and all the county health departments. so that they'll have that all available. Then we'll advertise on our social media and encourage our health departments to advertise on theirs as well. We feel that's the best way to kind of get the word out about the program. So, you gentlemen have questions about that?
Now, this helps them with what?
Replace failed wastewater systems. So if they have it'll pay for all failures. If their system doesn't meet county code or Kansas Bulletin 4-2 regulation, which is the framework that the state of Kansas has in place for what they consider their guidelines for wastewater systems. If it doesn't meet any part of that, then this will pay to get that system
Upgraded.
meeting that requirement. So if it's a failed
Takes some of
cesspool,
that.
if it's open discharge, it'll pay for the complete replacement. If they have a failed lateral or a lateral that was driven over, it might not be a huge project, but it'll still pay for that. Tank, if they have a tank that's failed, that's cracked, it's leaking, it'll pay for that as well.
Our house system went down and we did a program like this and it really helped out. I think
Yeah,
it
the
took care of
USDA
half
and RCS cost share program's been
Yeah.
around for quite some time, and it's
of it. It
invaluable.
really, really helped
It's
because
been invaluable.
we put in a new system, then we found out like 30 feet from the house, it was a leach field so we had to go back in and cut it back out, but
Right.
that really helped. So it's a good deal.
Yes, yes. So, other than that,
Or did you have to match something?
there's no
with this
match.
grant?
There's no match. There's presumably gonna be another 3 years of this money that could be available to the state of Kansas for this program. We've expressed interest with KDHE to get more of this grant funding if at all possible. If there's any way that we can wait our participation as a group to be able to harness more of those funds, we've made it known that we'd like to explore that as well. Part of that infrastructure funding at the federal level, there's a program for technical assistance that we've begun the process of participating with. The EPA is coordinating that program. We're working with a contractor that the EPA is assigned to evaluate individual community needs for wastewater and drinking water. What they'll kind of look at is whether our area, as the member counties, or any individual municipality or unincorporated accumulations of houses, if we have those in our counties that meet certain requirements, then they'll make some recommendations for us. So as far as funding, grants and funding for studies, to be able to pin those down so that we can then later take those, the data that we've gathered from those studies to apply for state and federal monies in the future. So we're at the very beginning stages of that. But as we move forward with that, I'm hoping to be able to come back to the county boards and have some more good news like this. So
This is wonderful news.
yes, we're really happy with it. So overall, group performance has been good. All of our counties are still in the group. One of the counties that opted out several years ago is in the preliminary process of looking at rejoining, which is good news. If they choose to get back in, that lowers a little bit of the